What's up, YouTubers? How's it going? Hey, it's Johnny Buzzkill here. Talk to you about my my AR15. I'm sure you guys have seen me shooting it already. Shooting at that 1/2-inch steel plate. Pretty amazing what 223 will do, how fast that bullet's moving, what it'll do to a 1/2-inch piece of steel. Anyways, hey, I just want to start off the video by telling you guys I'm not a professional. I don't work for Stag Arms. I wasn't in the military. I enjoy shooting, and I'm not a professional. I'm not a know-it-all, but I will try to share with you guys what I do know and help you guys out if I can. And if you guys can help me out in return, that'd be awesome. If you guys know more than I do and you want to leave a comment or a video clip to rebut something that I've said or whatever, feel free to do so. I encourage that. As long as it's not derogatory and you're being a jerk off, let me know what you think and I'll try to help you guys out. Anyways, Stag Arms 2T, pretty stock other than this UTG covers over the Picatinny rail. I've got this grip pod that turns into a bipod, great front grip that turns into a bipod. It's really, really useful. Aim Point Pro, great red dot. It's got the ARM flip up sights in the back. This is a great stock weapon to get. Little butt pad in the back, doesn't offer much recoil support, but it's probably good while you shoulder your weapon and raise it up. Maybe a little stickier, a little more grippier on the back. Single point condor single point sling, little tactical sling, works out pretty good. If you've broken down your weapon or fired through it a few times, it might be easier to take these takedown pins out with just your fingers, but if not, something like this will work out great. You just poke that in there, take the takedown pin out, and the way I like to do it is utilize my grip pod as kind of a platform. So I'm going to push it through with the fake round and pull it out the rest of the way. Usually I can push it out with my thumb and pull it out with my fingernails. Real easy to do after you broke it down a couple times and put some rounds through it, so good times. I've done a safety check before. The weapon obviously has a dust cover down. I checked it before. No rounds in the weapon whatsoever. So I'm going to break this down, separate the upper from the lower. Obviously there's no magazine in the mag well, so we know it's a cleared weapon. I'm going to pull the charging handle back. There goes the dust cover again. Pull out the bolt carrier assembly. Okay. So here we have the bolt carrier assembly. Right here, this is the, I think it's called the cam key, the cam pin, cam something or other. But that's kind of the most important thing of assembling and disassembling the bolt carrier assembly here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out, use my little tool here. I'm going to pull out this little tiny pin. You pull this pin out. Pull that pin out right there. You can see the pin. So you pull that guy out. I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to turn this upside down and just give it a couple taps. That firing pin should just kind of slide out and fall right out just like it did. You want that thing to have a nice little light coat of oil on it. Not super gooey where it's dripping oil, but just enough a light coating of oil. I use brake free. That's pretty much all I use to clean my weapons, is brake free. I don't use anything else. I don't spray them down. I just scrub them down with brake free. Typically when I clean my weapons, I use like a pair of cheap gardening gloves, like those brown gloves you might get at Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. They're chocked full of oil, and I only handle my guns typically with those on when I'm not making videos. So there's that cam key, the cam pin, whatever the hell that thing's called. There's that pin. You pull that out and your bolt will slide right out. There's the bolt. When I'm cleaning, typically I use a toothbrush. I've seen people use brass brushes or something that's not too abrasive. If you're taking off the finish, the bluing of the bolt or any part of your gun, you're scrubbing too hard and using something that's way too abrasive. Typically what you want to do is clean the carbon off of this edge and this edge. As you can see, there's a little tiny bit of carbon from the last time I shot, but that's from the brake free, probably getting some of that grime out from inside the bolt carrier assembly, inside the bolt itself, or inside the housing. So that's okay. So if you're shooting right-handed, make sure your extractor, there's your extractor on this side, make sure the extractor is pointing the right way, that when you pulled it out, that it goes back in the same direction. So when you put it back together, your extractor is going to shoot the bullets out of the dust cover and not jam inside there. So I'm going to pull this back a little tiny bit. I'm going to slide that back in there, the cam key, turn that back at 90 degrees. I'm going to drop the firing pin back in there. See how it slid back in there nice and easy? push that down with my pinky finger. That's all the way down. I'm going to push the bolt back, make sure that's nice and seated. Grab that pin. That pin's going to go back in the hole. Make sure that guy goes back in there. So that's in there. Then pull your bolt back till it clicks in place. Make sure that cam key or the cam pin is underneath the key. Once that's like that, you're good to go. If you leave it like that, you'll never get the bolt back in there. So make sure that's pulled out, your ejector's facing the right way, and you're good to go. We're going to put that back inside, right inside the groove of the charging handle. Slide that back in. Listen for this. You put your thumb on the back of the bolt carrier assembly and your finger underneath this. It locks in to the upper to the lower. Listen to this click. Once you have that, you're locked in, you're good to go. So I'm going to close the upper to the lower. I'm going to push this pin back in. I'm going to cycle it one time. I'm going to pull the charging handle out, put it back in, put the weapon on fire. I'm going to pull the trigger. Good to go. So I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to pull it one more time. Charging handle back. I'm going to put my weapon on safe, and that's a wrap. So it's all done. Depends on how much you want to clean it, what you want to use. For me, I would like to use just typically a toothbrush, something not too abrasive with a little bit of break free, and that's it. Other people have different methods of cleaning their weapons. For me, the break free has seemed to work fine, and I haven't had any issues with any of my weapons. Again, Johnny Buzzkill signing out. If I can help you guys out in the future, leave a comment. If you have any concerns, comments, or anything else you want to leave, feel free to do so. Hopefully I've helped you guys out a little bit. Any questions, comments, or concerns, leave me a comment. Johnny Buzzkill signing out. Thanks, guys.